U.S. companies, North American companies, have taken a lot of the cost out of their infrastructure, out of their systems. Now they need to focus on the process. So now they're trying to streamline their processes on a global basis. They're trying to transform those processes, and they're trying to outsource those processes to get further cost out of their organization and get more competitive on a global basis. So you see all totally new companies emerging, such as GE spinning off their business processing, and that's really one of the founders of BPO business in India, in the northern part of India. And you have Wins Capital, and you have all kinds of new companies emerging that just focus on business processes like research, like accounting, like human resources, taking those entire processes offshore. And that's just beginning, and there's tremendous growth in that space. Now, new opportunities are emerging, such as software as a service is going offshore, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, web services, and the like. So there's a lot of emerging technology, unified communications, virtualization. So there's also, I'm talking here about a lot of core applications, but there's a lot of emerging technology going offshore as well. That creates a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs. So what are some of the trends? Obviously, the financial community these days are in a difficult scenario, but there's always been significant capital looking for significant opportunities offshore, particularly in emerging countries. That is still the case. However, they're looking for unique and differentiated opportunities. They're not looking to put money into more of the same. They're looking for unique emerging opportunities and opportunities that will bode well for their investments over the next 5 years. Supporting that, firms are looking for entrepreneurial teams. They're looking for good entrepreneurs, good leaders, but also the teams. So those two components are key. You've got to have a good idea, but it's also got to be differentiated. It's got to be unique. There's got to be a market for it, and you've got to have a team that can execute that and have some track record of executing that. And it's hard work. You've got to have the vision, but it boils down to a lot of hard work. And you can't learn that in school. It takes an internal drive, and it's something that you have to have a lot of passion around. You have to believe in it, and you have to work it. And you'll take 2 steps forward. You'll take 3 steps backwards. But if you stay focused and stay devoted to that item or that area, you'll make progress. Obviously, there's been a lot of global acquisitions and consolidations going on. The last 2 or 3 years has been record M&A work in the IT services solution space. Right now, private equity obviously has slowed down. There's not as much acquisition, but strategics still they have a lot of cash. They still need to acquire to meet their growth plans. They need to acquire to get into new areas and pick up new emerging technologies. So you'll continue to see that. A lot of other interesting things happening, such as Accenture, for example. You think of Accenture as a major firm. I was a partner at Deloitte in my earlier days, and I competed with Accenture. We didn't have one person offshore. Well, today, Accenture has more people in India than they have in the U.S. So it's a pretty interesting phenomenon. That's all happened in the last 6 or 8 years. That's a drastic change for that organization. The same for an IBM, a CSC, an EDS, those types of companies, in addition to just emerging and startup companies. And they have as many people. They have 80% as many people as the major Indian firms do. They generally would have 100,000 people. IBM has 85,000 probably in India. Accenture probably has 50,000 people in India. So also, that's causing a lot of dynamic changes in that marketplace as well, because that's driving up salaries. That's bringing the world closer together. And it's making the U.S. firms a lot more competitive with the Indian firms. So there's a lot of dynamics going on, and that's changing. These Indian companies are also expanding. They're serving the same clients we're serving. And those clients, as I mentioned, are global. They have global needs. And you're now starting to see the Indian firms acquiring offshore, and they're going to China. They're going to South America. They're going to Eastern Europe. China, for example. China has 2 times as many services software companies than India has. But yet, they're very immature. They're fledglings. They're very small. And China's trying to entice companies like Infosys to come to China to build capability. And finally, a trend I don't have up here, but I mentioned earlier, was Indians are moving up the value chain. The market's changing every day. And the Indian firms are certainly, There are a lot of places we're going for offshore work, but India is really the go-to country, is the lead go-to country for IT services and software. And they're really moving up the value chain, and they're getting more and more sophisticated every day, and more work is going there every day.